to provide some alternative routes for us to get into digital assets. I mean, I don't know about you, my life runs off of my phone these days. It's how I pay my bills, it's how I get access to my bank accounts, right? So it becomes incredibly important to be able to get into your phones. So these days, now you have powers of attorney that will include access to digital assets, which makes it a little bit easier. So you don't have to necessarily just be locked out of something. It takes contacting like Apple, for example, to say, hey, I can have access. Can you give me the codes? But they've actually gotten very smart about that too. So, for example, and I can only speak to iPhone users. I don't know that this applies to Android users, but iPhones now allow you to put a legacy contact on your phone, which is an individual who can walk into an Apple store with your phone and say, hey, I need into this device. Had they done that with no legacy contact, Apple would have turned them away and said, we can't give you access for privacy purposes, etc. But now, if you're the legacy contact, they'll give you the code to the phone right there. You can get in, you can get anything off of it that you may need to, and it's getting a little bit easier. So, technology, I think, is going to catch up with us in this world to help a little bit. But it's still, I think, important for you to make sure that you've written down, hey, my safe code is this, my iPhone password is that in one safe location because those are going to be necessary to administer your estate. And, a lot of people will say, okay, well, that's great for finding my assets, finding my bank accounts, paying my bills, but it's also important for things like your social media. So if you have Facebook or Instagram, I have thankfully never had an estate with an identity theft problem and I never want one. But one of the reasons why is because I'm very diligent in telling my clients, you need to go wind down somebody's social media, somebody's Facebook page, so that it's not out there for people to misuse.
Yeah. It's interesting. Michael Dell, of course, a big name in Austin. When he was in high school, he was making more money than his teachers selling
Hmm.
newspaper subscriptions. And one of the things he figured out was the people most likely to buy newspapers subscriptions are people who just got married or people who just lost a loved one.
Hmm.
Well, if he could have done that in the early 80s, you can certainly do that now. And you don't even
Hmm.
have to, you don't have, he actually, he had employees when he was in high school. His employees would go to the courthouses and start pulling these docs. Um,
Yep.
but you don't need to do that. I mean, everything's so accessible online. And so that would seem to be a really easy way to scam. You just look for, hey,
Yeah.
who died this week? And let me start working that.
Yeah. And, oftentimes people have very easy to guess passwords, which is another, soapbox to get on with respect to your privacy. But yes. And how many people have received the Facebook messages from the friend who's like, hey, I need money and I need it now. And you're like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in forever. Well, it's because they passed away. They don't exist anymore. And now they're, asking you for money, especially in the elderly community. That is ripe for people to be like, oh, okay, here, yeah, here's my money. Start taking it. Oh gosh, I just want to help you. And
Yeah.
and it's very prone to people misusing it. So it's a good thing to lock down your Facebook and your social media and stuff like that so that your family doesn't have to deal with that. Because ultimately, if money starts disappearing or if charges get made to a credit card, the credit card company doesn't necessarily care that, grandma is incapacitated when she was purchasing all of those, Apple gift cards to start sending to somebody. They just care that, they get paid. And so that can be a really unfortunate thing and a very big place for people to be really prone to predators. And like you say, especially when somebody passes away, most of the time that's public record, right? If there are people who know how to look for it, there are people who know how to start preying on individuals who have social media like that.
I used to, I had a client that sold cyber liability insurance. And back when we had him as a client, I would periodically look up the top 10 passwords that people use. It's ridiculous. Password
Oh,
one, two,
password,
three,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's just there's a standard
Hmm.
list. And then it's gotten worse because people keep reusing passwords.